Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 3. We present about riba and the global debt crisis, which specifically explain about Islamic economics as an alternative through profit loss sharing. Now, I will brief for the introduction part. Microeconomics is one of the branch of economy that begins with a theory of supply and demand. A group of decision takers such as individuals, households, and firms have their own objectives to achieve. Eventually, it will create the supply and demand for resources using money and interest rate as a pricing mechanism for cooperation. Besides, in Islam, there is a heavily criticized topic which is riba. Riba is an additional amount paid or received on the principal amount based on agreement with a time period. As we all know, riba is strictly prohibited due to its unfair towards other parties. That's why the basic of Islamic economics shall be practiced effectively to achieve the ultimate goal and as well as to gain Allah's pleasure.
Now we move to the problem of the topics, problem of the riba in the both conventional and Islamic term. Today, global financial system rely heavily on the interest-based lending, which has to lead to the various financial crises, social equality and persistent debt burden. Riba in the conventional financial system is often understood as the interest of profit on the loan of money charged by financial to borrowers. It sees as a reward to lender for the risk taken. According to the Islam, riba refers to any increase in the value on the principal amount of a loan without any effort of risk from the lender. At the individual levels, the interest based on has a negative impact tools of borrowing such as credit and debit card, students loan, housing loans. The younger generation is now starting life with a heavy debt burden and is facing difficulty in owning asset and achieve financial independence. The situation is not only create psychology and social stress but also witness the economic foundation in society. National system, housing loans are charged free of variable interest rates according to the market. Many individuals from the middle and lower class are forced to take out housing loans that last for the decade. It costs the total repayment of many times to the value of the original house. This costs a large portion of monthly income to be used to pay off debt, which the quality of the life and well-being of the
Quranic reference. Riba is explicitly prohibited in the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah 275 and 279. The verse emphasizes that all trade is permissible, riba is not, and those who persist in face a severe warning of war from Allah and His Messenger. The other one, Surah An-Nisa 161, further condemns practice by taking it to the punishment of communities who exploit others. Hadith reference. The Prophet Muhammad SAW condemned riba is various hadiths, including one in Sahih Muslim, Hadith 1598, because not just those who consume riba, but all those facilitate, write or witness a riba-based transaction. All participants in a riba transaction considered sinful. Ethical justification for the prohibition of riba. Riba is viewed as an unethical practice in Islam because it results in economic exploitation. Lenders profit without bearing risk, while borrowers, especially those in need, bear the entire burden. This creates an unjust economic imbalance, increasing wealth inequality and perpetuating poverty. In contrast, charity and zakat, which is obligatory giving, promotes social responsibility and compassion. The Quran stresses that wealth earned through riba is unblessed, while charity is reward. Prohibition of riba supports social justice, economic equality, and creating an ethical foundation for a fair and prosperous society. Effects of riba on economic justice and stability. Riba exacerbates wealth inequality by concentrating wealth among the rich, particularly financial institutions, while the poor remain trapped in debt. This contributes to a cycle of poverty, especially for low-income borrowers who struggle with mounting interest. Riba leads to unfair transactions because lenders receive a fixed return regardless to the risk performed of the investment, violating the Islamic principle of profit and loss sharing. Moreover, riba encourages individualism and undermines the social solidarity. It goes against Islamic principle that the economy should benefit all, not just a few. Therefore, the prohibition of riba aims to build an equitable, sustainable economic system based on justice and human values.
I want to talk about Islamic alternative. Islamic alternative has two key models. For the first one is Mudarabah and the second one is Murabahah. Mudarabah is a partnership. One gives money and another one do the work. They share profit based on agreement. For example, bank give money for the businessman. If businessman do well, both get profit. If it fails, bank lose money and businessman lose time and effort. For the second one is Murabahah. Murabahah is a selling and buying method. The bank buys something and then sell it. Sell for the customer at the higher price. For example, if bank buy a house for 100,000 and then sell it for 110,000 for the customer, and the customer pay for the installment. For the extra 10,000 is a bank profit, not interest. So these two models are fair and clear. So for the Mudarabah is a sharing risiko and Murabahah is avoid interest. So basically both help people to avoid debt problems and support a fair economy. So that's for me. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. Very good day. I'll be presenting the section of 5.0, which is real world implementation based on Islamic system, which is profit loss and sharing. So the conventional financial system, which is really heavily on usuri, which is riba, have been proven to contribute the global crisis, economic imbalance and social injustice. In contrast, the Islamic economic system, through PLS concept like Mudarabah and Musyarakah, promote fairness, risk sharing and investment in real economic activity while avoiding riba. So the first one is implementation in Islamic banking institution, which is many Islamic banks around the world have already adopted PLS principle, which is the principle of profit and sharing lah. So then in Malaysia, for example, such as Bank Islam, Bank CIMB, Islamic Bank and Muamalat Bank already apply the concept of Mudarabah and Musyarakah for their financial product. So this is supported by the Bank Negara Malaysia through the policy value, which is value-based intermediation, which promotes share prosperity and social responsibility. So the other country that also apply the concept of PLS, which is Sudan and Iran. This country, especially in infrastructure development and SME financing. For instance, Musyarakah is used for purchasing business asset. Mudarabah is used for encouraging saving and profit sharing investment. Meanwhile, the other country like UAE, bank like Dubai Islamic Bank offer Mudarabah investment account where profit are shared between this sector and the bank. The second one about the application microfinance and poverty eradication. Okay, PLS have been effective in helping low-income groups. For example, in Indonesia, institutions like Baitul Mal Tamwil (BMT) that use Mudarabah and Musyarakah to support a small business such as the vendor and the farmer, with interest-free loans. The other country also apply in microfinance in Pakistan and Bangladesh. Islamic microfinance programs such as Aqwat provide interest-free loan combined with PLS, allow economic participants without any long-term debt burdens. So the third one is about the integration in global finance market. Truth, Islamic finance is still a small portion of the global system, of the global financial system, which is gaining recognition as a stable and ethical model. PLS-based Islamic bonds, sukuk, are used by countries like Malaysia and Saudi Arabia. So, and by the multinational company to finance large infrastructure projects like highway, airport, and power plant. In the world of financial technology, fintech, platforms like ETIS Malaysia and LaunchGood from the USA are Musyarakah for real estate and social project investment. These platforms allow global participation with transparent profit sharing, showing that PLS is not only relevant locally but also adaptable to modern global market. So the conclusion from this part, I would say the profitless sharing is a model, is a practical, fair, and Sharia compliant alternative that works both local and globally. It offers an ethical and stable financial system that benefit individual, business, and nation. So that's all from me. Thank you.
In conclusion, the current global financial system mostly runs on interest or riba, which causes problems like constant debt, unstable economy, and growing inequality. This system often ignores people's ability to repay and end up creating poverty and public debt. But Islamic finance offers a better approach. It uses profit-loss sharing methods like Musyarakah and Mudarabah, which are based on real business activity. This method helps spread out risk, reduce unfair practice, and focus on real performance. This leads to fairer wealth distribution and more stable economic system. Islamic economy also values justice, transparency, and ethics. It focuses on protecting people, not just making profit. This makes it a good alternative, not just for Muslims, but for whole world to build fairer and more stable economic system. That's all from us. Thank you for listening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.